On November 12th, 1992, a boy was born in South Baptist Hospital in Miami, Florida. The boy was of Cuban and Dominican descent. In honor of my nephew, who coined the term, we'll say the boy was of Cuminican descent. While this boy might have been born into the perfect city for him, it was not the intention of his parents to raise him in Miami. By age 4, he was brought to New Jersey to spend his adolescence absent of the culture that would raise him up and accept him. But more on that later. His time in New Jersey wasn't bad, but it left him feeling a little empty. Being surrounded by people that didn't look like him made him experience some envy. It was easier to blend into the crowd of white people than deal with the frenzy of ignorant comments. A boy of Cuminican descent is not Mexican, but you wouldn't know that from the constant torment his friends put him through. Sorry. You see, this poem isn't just a story about a boy, it's a reflection of how culture plays a part in a boy's provenance. This boy is my origin story. My name is Andrew Evo Idavoy. Growing up in New Jersey had its highs and lows. Being in a school where I was the token Latino, besieged by the prepubescent army of middle schoolers, I needed to find my secret weapon. I hoped it'd be Spanish class. As a Cuminican, I speak Spanish. So I thought this will be my shot. Man, I walked into class that day feeling like Tony Montana with a loaded gun. The Spanish teacher wanted us to introduce ourselves, along with saying our favorite food in Spanish. So after I heard this little white boy come up to the class and say, Hola, me llamo Ricky. Mi comida favorita is pizza. Man, I slipped in my class like I'm Michael Jackson in the Billie Jean video, ready to show these fools who I am. I looked at my class proudly and said, Hola, me llamo Andrew. Y si tú quieres ver como un tigre de la República Dominicana habla español, venga a ver. Soy un chico de Miami, ¿qué es lo que? Si voy a decirte cuál es mi comida favorita, tengo que enseñarte quién lo hice. Mi abuelita hace un bistec empanizado que es fuera de serie. Ya tú sabes, mamita, dame esa egg. Hey. I went back to my desk feeling like I just won the Super Bowl. Man, my Spanish teacher just looked at me and said, C+, your grammar was beautiful. Being in a school where no other Latinos were around to understand me, I found myself wandering from culture to culture, clique to clique. White people found more entertainment making lawn mowing jokes than trying to be my friend. I always thought black kids were cool, but every time we get in trouble for doing something stupid, they seem to get in more trouble than I did, and then they get mad at me for it. You ever feel like the odd man out? Like a round peg trying to fit into a square hole. Ever see a skinny guy in an oversized t-shirt? Like, it fits, but is it right? That was my life in New Jersey. So you can probably imagine that I didn't put up much of a fight when my folks told me we were headed back to Miami. Finally, a culture I can wrap my head around. The idea of being surrounded by people that looked like me made me feel like a kid getting to spend a day on a playground. I was a teenager when we moved to Miami. So along with being indoctrinated into Latino culture, I was intoxicated by the raging hormones that just seemed to complicate matters. My experience with my culture was that we were dogs. I found myself surrounded by man-children, going through life in an endless fog of beautiful women turned into mementos. Every day, I would hear the same concerto of boys playing Gotta Catch 'Em All using demeaning innuendos towards girls they somehow convinced to go commando. Fidelity was not a word in my vocabulary because my contemporary family never taught me its definition. The typical dialogue in my household would go as follows. Oye chico, you got girls? How many? So how exactly was I supposed to become a man that is man enough not to collect women like a boy collects Pokemon cards? So here I stand again, feeling like a Magikarp out of water, unable to fit into the culture that bred me, because Cuminican is not a new breed of dog, it's just me. As an adult, I needed to learn how to navigate what parts of culture would influence me and what parts I'd leave in their protective sleeves. White people still mistake me for the help sometimes, but I don't mind as much now. It's easier to lend a hand and a smile than get mad over something silly. I'll never understand what it is to be a black man in America, but I'm proud to stand with my brothers and sisters with an abundance of melanin. Because of one man that died on Calvary, I now have a league of extraordinary gentlemen who consider me a friend. I haven't given up on my Latino culture, though. There's a rhythm to be found there's a balance to be found in the rhythm and beats of my people. And as the bachata begins to play, I'll shake my hips and dance the night away with my white wife and stay faithful to her too.
All right now.
My culture is more than just one thing. It's a multitude of moments and memories that I can never repay. So all this Dominican has left to say is, welcome to my life. Que pasa, USA.
Woo!
Thank you.